Okay, the time is 6:44. Let's talk about the wildfires that are burning in California this morning. PG&E could be in even more hot water. It's being investigated for possibly starting the Fly Fire, which ignited near the Dixie Fire on July 22nd. The company told state regulators that a tree was found lying on one of its power lines near the vicinity of that fire. The Fly Fire burned about 4,300 acres over 3 days before merging with the Dixie Fire. PG&E is being investigated for possibly starting that one too. Let's talk more about the Dixie Fire now. More mandatory evacuations are in place this morning. It's the biggest fire in the state, and it's spreading right now in Plumas and Butte counties. Breaking overnight, those to the east of Lake Almanor were told to evacuate south toward Quincy to take shelter. People near the North Shore are asked to evacuate east to the shelter that's in Susanville. This is a new video just in from Plumas County Search and Rescue showing the flames now in the town of Greenville. And around 7 last night, the entire community of Chester had to leave their homes. That's on the northern end of Lake Almanor. Other communities around the lake, like Chester, were also told to leave, as we mentioned. And we spoke to a family in Greenville that was staying behind to protect their home. But we want to take a look at time-lapse video of the fire over the last 12 hours. This camera is pointed in the direction of Lake Almanor and Chester. Rob, as we mentioned about that family in Greenville, some people are staying behind to protect their home.
You know, for some, that's the plan, but there's going to be a moment where it's just going to be obvious that you're going to have to move. So what we're looking at is time lapse from yesterday, pointing north to the fire. And there's two branches of this. It's on both sides of Lake Almanor. And as the sun sets, you can see that smoke plume collapse, which does create its own wind and flare-ups like you see there. So it just changes hour by hour. The best opportunity to get containment and control of at least some portions of the fire is going to be overnight. But the next 2 days, folks, I'm just going to be upfront with you. They're going to be extremely challenging, and there's going to be moments when the wind is ripping and it's very dry where firefighters have to worry about their own safety, and they're not going to be able to directly attack some of these fire lines. So let me just show you what happened yesterday and where things are going. This is Lake Almanor. All the dots are satellite detected hot spots. You can see the rough perimeter here with that red outline. So you can see where the fire's been, you can see where it's going, and then I threw in the arrows there so you can see in general where the push of the fire is going to be for new fire growth and also for hot spots, as well as where the perimeter is going to start to extend. Now, obviously there's a hard line here when it hits the lakeshore, but the peninsula is not that far, and it's not impossible for embers to fly right over the lake and to hit that peninsula. That's why there's some evacuation warnings in that zone as well. And you can see one little finger there did make it all the way to the shore. So there's two branches. There's a lot of firefight left in this, and it's just going to be a rough couple of days, because what's happening today and tomorrow is that we've got a brand new red flag warning for windy and dry and very warm conditions right in that spot. So it's not only for ongoing fires for the Dixie Fire, but anything new that pops up and may draw resources. So again, the Greenville area is one very active hotspot. We're also looking at close to Chester, and Westwood is far away at this moment, but folks, there's been spotting yesterday that we're at least a mile outside of the perimeter. So this thing can leapfrog if the winds really get going, and that's one of the concerns.